The storm did not belong to either world. Lightning tore across the sky in jagged, unnatural fractures, ripping open the horizon as if reality itself had been wounded. Thunder rolled with a metallic echo, not of nature, but of two universes grinding against one another. In the center of the ruined city, half ancient stone, half modern steel, stood a lone warrior in a white GI, sandals planted firmly against the fractured ground. Samurai Jack. His eyes were calm, disciplined, and unblinking. The wind pulled at his robe, carrying dust, ash.
A being whose presence radiated hatred so pure that even the Omega effect recoiled.
The sacred katana at his side hummed softly, resonating with a presence beyond this broken world. Jack had traveled through time, through hellish futures and forgotten pasts. But this place felt different, heavy, purposeful, as though destiny itself waited just beyond the next heartbeat. Across the shattered plaza, a blue beam of energy tore open the air. From it stepped a man clad in a battle-worn uniform of red, white, and blue. A star gleamed upon his chest, scratched and scarred from countless wars. His shield, vibranium alloy, indestructible, rested on his arm, reflecting the lightning like a mirror to the heavens. Captain Stephen Rogers, soldier of another age, guardian of another world. He scanned the area with disciplined precision, every muscle coiled and ready. This was not the battlefield he had been fighting on moments ago. One instant he had been leading a charge against an alien incursion. The next he was standing in a broken city that felt older than history itself. His eyes locked onto the lone swordsman. The two warriors regarded each other in silence, the storm roaring above them like a war drum. No words were spoken, yet both understood something fundamental. This encounter was not coincidence. Forces beyond either of them had drawn their paths together. Samurai Jack slowly raised his katana into a ready stance, the blade catching the lightning and glowing with an ancient, holy light. The sword had been forged to destroy ultimate evil, but it also responded to honor, to purpose. It sensed no darkness in the man before it, only unyielding resolve. Captain America raised his shield, planting his boots firmly against the fractured ground. His stance was textbook perfect, balanced, defensive, yet prepared to strike without hesitation. "I don't know who you are," Steve said, voice steady and calm, carrying through the thunder. "But I don't want this fight." Jack's eyes narrowed slightly. "Nor do I," he replied, his voice soft but carrying centuries of discipline. Yet destiny does not always grant us choice. The air between them vibrated. Without warning, the ground split apart as a shockwave erupted from the center of the plaza. The clash of unseen forces sent debris flying. Instinct took over. Jack moved first. In a blur faster than human sight, he closed the distance, blade arcing in a clean, lethal strike aimed for the shield arm. Captain America barely had time to react, raising his shield as steel met vibranium, with a deafening clang that rippled outward like a shockwave. The impact sent both warriors skidding backward across shattered concrete. Steve's boots dug in, muscles straining as he absorbed the force. His eyes widened, not in fear but in astonishment. That strike could have cleaved a tank in half. Jack exhaled slowly, adjusting his stance. This man was stronger than any soldier he had ever faced. Stronger even than many of Aku's greatest champions. They charged again. Steve hurled the shield with perfect precision, the disc slicing through the air like a guided missile. Jack twisted, the blade of his katana flashing as he deflected the shield mid-flight. Sparks erupted as vibranium met enchanted steel, the impact bending the air itself. The shield ricocheted wildly before snapping back into Steve's waiting hand. Jack leapt forward, moving faster than the eye could track, his strikes a blur of deadly precision. Steve blocked, dodged, countered, each movement a masterclass of human potential pushed beyond its limits. Fists met steel, shield met sword. Sparks flew like stars being born and dying in the same instant. Steve ducked beneath a sweeping slash and drove his shoulder forward, slamming into Jack's chest. The force sent the samurai skidding backward, boots carving trenches through the stone. Jack flipped midair, landing gracefully, but the impact had left a crack beneath his feet. They stood once more, separated by broken earth and rising dust. Both warriors breathed heavily now, not from exhaustion, but from the intensity of the battle. Steve tightened his grip on the shield, eyes narrowing with respect. "You fight with honor," he said, "and skill." Jack nodded, lifting his blade once more. "You are a warrior of great heart. But this path, it will not end without blood." The storm above roared louder, lightning spiraling downward as if answering the challenge. Two champions, two worlds, two unbreakable wills, and the battle had only just begun. Captain America surged forward first, shield raised high, muscles coiling with super soldier precision. Each step cracked the ground, his momentum carrying the weight of unbreakable resolve. Jack responded instantly, drawing upon centuries of training, his body flowing like water as he dashed forward in a blur of motion. They collided at the center of the ruined plaza. Steel screamed against vibranium. The shockwave ripped outward, flattening broken structures and sending debris spiraling into the sky. Jack's blade carved arcs of silver light, each strike measured, exact, lethal. Steve countered with flawless timing, redirecting blows, rotating his shield to absorb impact after impact. Sparks erupted like fireworks with every clash. Jack leapt high, flipping over Steve's head, blade descending in a vertical strike meant to cleave him in two. Steve spun, shield raised just in time. Boom! The force slammed him into the ground, carving a crater beneath his boots. Before Jack could press the advantage, Steve rolled, sprang up, and hurled the shield with lethal speed. The shield struck Jack's sword mid-swing, knocking it from his grip. Time seemed to slow. The sacred blade spun end over end through the air, embedding itself deep into a collapsed tower behind them. For the first time, Jack stood unarmed. Steve did not hesitate. He charged, fists flying with relentless precision. Each punch carried the weight of wars fought and won, of ideals never surrendered. Jack blocked and dodged, redirecting blows with open palms and swift footwork. But the pressure was overwhelming. A solid punch caught Jack across the jaw, sending him skidding across the broken stone. He rolled, rose, and wiped blood from his lip, eyes burning with renewed fire. "This fight is not yours to win," Jack said, voice steady despite the pain. Steve paused for a fraction of a second. "Neither is it yours." Jack sprinted toward the embedded sword, leaping over shattered debris as Steve pursued. The ground shook as both warriors reached for the blade, and the moment their hands touched it, the world exploded. A blinding surge of energy erupted from the sword, reacting violently to the clash of their wills. The ancient magic of the blade collided with the indomitable force of the super soldier serum, creating a shockwave that tore the battlefield apart. Time itself seemed to fracture, visions flashing around them, Jack's endless war against Aku, Steve standing alone against impossible odds, shield raised against annihilation. Both warriors were hurled backward, crashing into the ruins on opposite ends of the battlefield. Silence followed. Smoke drifted through the air as the storm above began to calm. Jack was the first to rise, battered and bleeding, but still standing. He retrieved his sword, its glow dimmer now, as if exhausted from the clash. His breath was heavy, his body screaming in protest, yet his spirit remained unbroken. Across the field, Captain America pushed himself up on one knee. His uniform was torn, shield cracked along its edge, but his eyes still burned with unyielding resolve. He struggled to stand, then steadied himself, planting the shield firmly into the ground for support. They locked eyes once more. No hatred, no rage, only respect. "We could fight until the world collapses," Steve said, voice rough but steady. "And neither of us would back down." Jack slowly lowered his sword. "You are a warrior of honor," he replied. "To continue would only bring ruin to worlds already scarred." The storm above began to fade, the lie in the sky closing as reality stitched itself together. The battlefield grew quiet, the echoes of their clash fading into memory.